Right. Okay. So, very good morning. Now, one thing I've found is this: there's a lot of challenges. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning. I'll take them off. That's half the problem, you see, is looking at chat. Sometimes you need to put the glasses on. But here's a way forward. Yeah. I've messaged the Udemy instructor on their system. So I'm waiting for a response to like what's going to happen. Made much progress. I've made little bits, like what's here, right? And I mean that one was for the video I did last night, but there is slight improvements. And what I want to discuss is this. Now I know what when you go to code, less than and more than. These are key words that are just like stuck in here, and it's good. Once I hear back from the course as to like what the problem was, then we push forward. And as the description of this video states, when are you getting to grips with Python? Well, Python is in the web development 3. It is. It's a bit past. I'm not sure if it's before PHP, which again, I have zero knowledge of. But there's some exciting things have happened. And one of those exciting things is Web 3. Now, a lot of you know that on GitHub, I have private. Yeah? So you know that. And we all know that somebody went to put seeking you to yesterday. But I'm going to go past that because the ideas are pure, original, but not just that. It's much deeper. And what I mean by that is this. Lots of startups have a point where they need investors. So, good morning, Kevin. So, yes, there's a lot of things in motion. And in tonight's 7 p.m., we're going to discuss over 2 hours worth of content and moving forward. I'm not bothered, Benny. I am not bothered at all because, like I say, people will do what they will do. Yeah? And that's the honest truth. If people think that they can skim an idea, get on with it. You see, when I had the original idea, it was to showcase something which a massive platform was stamped down hard. The poor guy who was in control of that huge platform was paraded in front of the cameras, and then they basically went, well, I'm not American. And That's what I put onto GitHub. Now, if somebody wants to come along, yeah, and say, F, then, if they want to do that, they're going to do that. But my core will never change. And the core of what I was trying to achieve was get something online so you could see it as subscribers, because I'm telling you about it in video. And the point was this: to show you, a 57-year-old man, learning to code. And in a way, I've sort of achieved that, because you can look back through all of the videos, right? And you can see lines of code. Some of those lines are bad. Did you expect anything more? If I came into an education place and I'm in there at 9 o'clock in the morning, do you think by 12 o'clock the switch has been flipped and I can then go on my dinner break and voila, there is something totally amazing? No, doesn't work like that. And this is what I was saying: adult learning. We are never ever too old. Have you walked into Nottingham for legal advice? No, I haven't. You see, the point I was making when I was putting everything together was an ecosystem using something which is already created. And which is why I mentioned in earlier videos Solidity, which is another form of code. It's another form of language. The purpose of the Web Development 3, the sole purpose, was to understand, and little bits and pieces, like, example, your tab button. When we're typing stuff on social media, we never use the tab button. We don't use the shift. We don't use control. We don't use them. They are redundant. And that's my point. You see, those people who have decided to take it upon themselves to say, right, we're going to take this because it's got an MIT, a BIC, or whatever license. We're going to take this and we're going to run with it. The likelihood is, yeah, it might have success, might. But will it have the same kind of ecosystem? Right. I use tab, shift, control. Yeah, you do, because you work in Unity. Am I correct, Be a Viking? Unity is where you build. You put a block, like for Be a Viking, yeah? You put a slab on your screen and you start to sculpt that block. Same thing with Blender. Unity is my hobby. I work in a different industry. That's fine. Yeah, brilliant. Because you are taking one thing and trying to fit the two together, which is brilliant. Everyone uses Tab Shift Control Pull. I don't. I've only just came across that using HTML5. There's a couple of tricky bits in that. The HTML entities staring at the screen because it's failed. And I'm staring at the screen, I'm thinking, something's missing. And what the something missing was, I know next to the @ button is : dot. Didn't know what the next one was, which is below it, semicolon. So I learned. Do not copy and paste that. Well, here's one of the things I was looking at. Okay. Game development. And I was looking at that last night. And I was thinking to myself, they are wanting to push the boundary. Instead of making something really, really simple. I don't know what Beer Viking has really done game-wise, because you've never really gone into that subject. But the vision I had was, you get onto the buggy and you're heading downhill. So you had that motion blur effect of the speed. Didn't know how to put that into a paragraph, which was a problem. Do you ever use the Z key? The Z. Yeah, when I'm typing normal. Now, we've got 11 people here. Let's get some likes up, because this is part 1. Part 2's tonight. And there are changes happening. The Z key for names or something related to a name. I mainly do platform and racing games. I work on a racing game at the moment. Brilliant. One of the things I was looking at was this, and this is before I saw what I saw last night. In your game, what you are working on, yeah, is there a way that you keep full control? Because that's what I was looking at. And it wasn't to be greedy, no. One thing also I looked at last night was this. I thought this, with being a thick book, this here, HTML5 and JavaScript. What I thought it had was assignments. No, it's just giving you a breakdown of what things go together, like the API, etc. And I suppose, yeah, ow. Normally use the door frame to scratch me back, but I'm sitting down. Clip that chat. Hey, clip that. Dan's in the house. Now, what I've been looking at is this: ways to become better. Now, is that possible? Yeah. Because if you think it, before what? Go back 4 years, not 5. Go back 5 years. I hadn't even looked at code. Wasn't in my things what I wanted to do. And because of that, I wanted something different. But one thing that did happen has opened my eyes. Morning, Bok Bok. And that is the future. Now, beg my pudding. One thing is this: between now and the end of the decade, a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things. And included in that is going to be speaking to legal people. Yeah. I don't have a choice. I have to go and speak to legal people. Bok Bok, I'm waiting for an email from the instructor to inform me what's gone wrong. There's a couple of things that might have gone wrong, i.e., I was putting stuff in a folder on my desktop and that work wasn't going straight up. It may be that, I don't know. I haven't spoke to the legal people yet, but I have to speak to them. There's no choice in the matter. The reason why there's no choice in the matter is because that's to do with the ecosystem of what I'm planning to do. That's why it needs the legal people to come in. Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that when you're doing these tests, what Rob would normally turn around and say is you have two windows open, him and then VS. And it would be a case where, and this was the complex bit, as he's showing you, he's got this half of the screen, him doing the code, and then the next part of the screen showing you what it is. And it was bending my head round that because when he was typing in the white part, it was going straight up to online. And that was the tricky part. Should do a live stream walking into a legal team in Nottingham telling about your situation. No, because as I said at the very beginning, if people want to do what they've done, get on with it. I just rebuild. One thing I want to tell you is this, right? When I turned around and I said to you all, I have a GitHub. Now in GitHub, there are some that are private. Some are public. And what they said in the beginning was it's a library. So if somebody's come along and went, yep, I'll have that, that's now mine. Yeah. And they've done it. But it's the concept. Because One of the things I was looking at was this. Normally people turn around and say, when they're talking about, oh, I've got this exciting thing. Yeah. It's about making as much as you can. So you can get that nice big house, those nice big Lamborghinis, Ferraris, etc. I have no interest in that. What I do have interest in is this, is building something, and then when it's built and everybody can go in and explore, as it makes money, stick a little bit to one side. Yeah. And then when that chunk, which is put to one side, climbs higher and higher and higher, go to one of the people who need help desperately and say, okay, there you go. That's yours to help you out. And the reason for doing that was something my nana said years and years ago. And she was a very, very strong woman. She stood up against a bloke years and years ago, and he cowered away. Right. Well, good luck. It looks like they've raised a lot of money. Awesome. You know why? Because what's on GitHub, what's private, that has enough potential. And it may be years down the line. It may be. Who knows? We don't know what tomorrow brings. But I will say this much. To come on to the subject, what happened last night? Yeah. I think, to be honest, that's a bit like somebody coming in and going, oh, I like that. I'm going to have that. And they ran with it because they have knowledge I'm trying to gain. Yeah. And my nose is running because of the pollen. Paul's loyal fans will crowdfund the legal team. No, they won't. The legal team will be from what is created because there's a shift coming. And that shift is seismic. You'll find out later at 7 p.m. what that shift is because it is coming. One thing is this, and not a lot of people know this, but I read up a lot of things. This is ages ago. Similarity. Do you know what that word is? Similarity. Do you know what that word is? Give it in chat. Whatever, be a vacant. I'll tell you this much. Yeah. As I was watching this morning, fellow YouTuber Rob Rubenstein, and he was talking Very clever. Very clever, Fluff. Yeah, very clever. And you're the only one who's actually said that. See, when two things are very similar, why? That's the biggest question. Why? Because somebody thought money grab. Yeah. But the system actually works differently. So let what happens happen. No, I'm not. Benny, you're in another galaxy. Yeah. And that's the honest truth. You see, one of the things about being on YouTube is this. We give out a lot of information. Yeah. Like most of you will know I have a GitHub. I have the GitHub because certain things which will happen need to be there so that people can look. Now, those people who come and have a look and then decide what they're going to do happens. A likeness or resemblance. Spot on, mate. Spot on. But the one key factor when I was talking to Bolt, and that's saved, the one key factor was the ecosystem is not what people think because it is on waves. And that's where it always was. Which is why the solidity is sitting there waiting. Now, I get through the HTML, I get through the CSS, the PHP, then JS, Python, then everything else, and get the certificate. I then go backwards from all of that to VS Code because it's built in. It's on my desktop, and I just go. Then you see the real McCoy. So you can like sign in, create an account, and then go. Right, what we got? Something on my ear. Yeah, it's called a hair. When are you doing JS? Be a vacant, really. Be honest. Come on. Just because JS and a fellow YouTuber, come on, you've got to be better than that, man. How many eggs can you eat in one sitting? One. Now, a couple of things for you. What is private is going to remain private. Unless the person who wants to have a look isn't going to turn around and go, what happened with seeking you? And here's another thing. Just so you're aware of this. The .org and the .co.uk cannot be bought. Just so you know. 4 eggs with soldiers. I thought you managed at least 2 eggs. I can eat more. It's just I tend to put them between 2 bits of bread, bush with a bit of brown sauce over the top and munch. Gone. Did you go to the England game? No. I heard about the England game. Harry Kane scored and then they scored 3. So, yeah, I did hear about it. And as I said to Rob Rubenstein this morning, when he was on about what's going to happen, the stadium. They're a bit late. 6 months. So we're a bit late. But I know why they're a bit late. Because there's a very important ceremony about to happen. Isn't that brilliant? Benny, isn't that totally brilliant? It seems to have an ecosystem. Brilliant. Wonderful. Yeah. Excellent. You see, you can try. Yeah, you can. You can try and go. It's not going to work. See, my strategy is on my pages. My strategy is to do what hasn't been done before. And when I asked for people to come in, that was me saying, you want to come in? Fine. We'll share it. But, and I say but, when Benny mentioned last night, oh, this is available. Oh, did you expect anything like me to go in a rage? Me to pull hair out of my head? Did you? Life doesn't work that way, mate. It never did. You see, there are rules in life we have to follow. And, one person singing the praises. Seeking You 2 is now available. Okay. Whoopie-doo. It has an ecosystem. Whoopie-doo. See, they've had to go and do something else to create an ecosystem. I didn't. I created that beforehand. And because I created it beforehand, it's just sitting there collecting dust until the solidity part is done. Then it's a case of a vote, 100% consensus. You get 51%, 52% or more, you win. They haven't got that. I missed the stream. Did you build? No, I didn't, mate. No, I didn't. Here's the thing, Dan. Somebody who's been in the stream, been watching, has decided, okay, we'll take that and we'll run with it. They've spent money, because to put anything up to the internet, you're spending money. Which I did the same thing when I got carried away. And that was my downfall. And when I was doing this Bolt, Claude, etc., when I was going through that phase, it has a cost. That cost is real pound sterling converted to dollars. So the really big, massive ideas, they're somewhere else. And the cost to bring them to market is in the ballpark of $500,000. Yeah, big figure. Good morning, Alice. Got to spend money to make money. Very true, Fluff. Very, very true. Now, some of the bits that are on GitHub that are private, each has the potential, each one of them, to make enough money to live off. And if I wanted to go to East Midlands Airport and say, I'll go that way and just keep on flying. But that's a waste. So I'd never do that. I'd rather use the income from these projects to turn around and say to various different entities, you need money? There you go. And if you need any more, come back. Can you honestly see the people behind Seeking You 2 doing the same? No. Because the way it's been done, if you're going to be shady, yeah, a long time ago, right, I had a case, right, and in that case, I went to work 10 hours, came home, landed in the chair to watch EastEnders, boring, that sort of thing. Or even more boring, Downton. Yeah, period drama. And it was a case of me saying, right, okay, I'll go upstairs and pick the guitar up. Why? It's constructive. You play something, and before you know it, an hour or maybe more's gone by. And then, do you want to cut that? Aye. Instead of watching something really, really boring, you don't. You do something else. Alice, what's happening with Seeking You? Well, Seeking You 2 has arrived. Yeah? As Benny will tell you. Seeking You has every single bit of what I was going to do, and it's better. There's, very soon there's going to be millions of people on it. Well, there may not be. Who knows? SG, Guitar Man. Hey, guitar player. And that is a skill in its own. I mean, my guitar, that came from What's the Story Morning Glory, the power of what you are listening to. Yeah, well, I have the Les Paul encore version, which I called Black Beauty. Oh, it's closed. Oh, man. So I'm guessing the nearest is Market Street for a music shop down beside the old church. Right, there's 18 people here. However, let's get these likes up, man. You with a like being here, so come on, pop some likes up. However, I go to PMT. All right. So whereabouts is that based in the city? Because I use the same shop, but it's in the city centre of Nottingham. And the shop I go to is on Huntington Road, which is one pain in the ear. Oh, it's on the quayside. Got you. Right. But, you know, one of the things, right, with music, my dream was this. With these ideas was to have enough money to turn around and say, right, there's a property here and I can do something with that property, and then build a studio. That was the overall goal, so that I could go into there, switch the lights on, turn all the machines on, and then sit at the drums and just sit there and just tap, tap, tap away until the idea popped into my head. And when the idea popped into my head, turn around and say, right, it's already been recorded. Let's put some guitar on the top of it. You have a studio? Oh, you're in Gateshead. Got you. Well, I come up to the northeast for football games at St James's Park when I can. And with all of these new bits, which are in they're in the majority of my videos. We've got 15 here. However, we've only got 3 likes, man. Come on. Even it out, man. Yeah, balance stuff out like a set of scales. We've got 15 here. Should be 15 likes. And if it's not, why? But yeah, the one thing I wanted to be able to do is to my songs. Don't know if you sing as well, SG. I don't know if you sing, but what I wanted to do was do an album, rock and roll, then do another one. Oh, you sing too? Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. That's really, really brilliant. Because, like I say, when I started playing, I never thought about singing. I was writing material, but I never thought of getting a microphone and actually standing up there and doing the singing. I'm a one-man band. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Now, SG, the hope is this. My playing has kind of took a back seat to the coding which I've been doing. But I sent a message yesterday to Rob, the instructor, to say, I've hit a brick wall and I want to progress. I want to move forward. Because when you buy something, it's no good at sitting on your driveway. You've got to get out there, wind in your hair. So that's what I'm going to do. Can you cover Rap God by Eminem? No. And there's a very good reason to no. Do you want to know what that is? If I was going to play something by another artist, you'd get about 10 seconds of that artist. I don't want to get a strike for playing more than 10 seconds. Because that's what the rules state here on YouTube. Cover songs, well, I don't know. I prefer originality. I mean, I'm sure SG is the same. You know, if he's gone up there to like sing, he may mix two of them together, like REM with his own. Who knows? I got 2 songs I'm working on. That's brilliant, mate. Yeah, Jeremy, you got a very valid point. I mean, when I started doing this section's adult learning with code, and there's a blooming good reason why it's adult learning. Look, I can't escape the fact that I got white hair. I can't escape the fact that, you know, there is wrinkles. Nobody can escape that. But I do know this. There are certain things I can get. And when I get them in the next few weeks and months, most of you are going to roll about laughing. But what it's going to do is change the look. And during that time, other things like the end, the certificate in my hand for web development 3 in my hand. So you can see it too. And because you're following along with the pitfalls, i.e., you know, walking along the street and all of a sudden you hit the curb just that little bit wrong, or it's been raised and you hit it and you bounce off the deck. That's what this all is, adult learning. That's why it's under the heading education. See, 2000, yeah? In 2000, I went to try and do something. Good paid job. And that disintegrated. And because it disintegrated, it was cuts. This when the government slashes stuff, yeah? It was cuts. And I decided enough. I had 98% in my folder for work done. but it wasn't enough because they couldn't. The funding just vanished, gone. So I chose something else, which was driving a great big bus. See you, mate. Have a good one, Guitar Man. What was the job? ADI was the rule. And there must have been 1,500 people, easy, who had said to us, do us a favour, teach us, and you've got to do it right. So that's why I went to do that. But, like I say, I switched from that to a 9.5 foot wide, 47 foot long vehicle. And in the beginning, they all thought exactly the same thing. He ain't gonna last. I did. Right. Will you drive our town or tour bus? Nope. One thing I would do, maybe 5 years down the line, maybe, is buy a vehicle and then fit that vehicle out. Strip everything out of it, including the blooming engine. Because those engines are crap. And yes, could still drive that. Not sure what that means. No. The hope is between now and my birthday next year, the Mondeo goes and it's replaced by something else. Jeremy, I'm going to leave that question with you because there is something that I need to do and I need this course unlocked. Now, once the course is unlocked, videos where I'll be doing that to show you what's on screen. And the reason why, education, adult education. No, Benny, I'm not. I'm not even going to mention who's above you because, to be honest, there's certain things that people shouldn't put in as their email, and that certainly is one of them. And moving forward, it's never going backwards. The thing which I'm looking forward to is roughly August time. The American chicks, BF Aiken is asking. It's nothing to do with me. It's somebody who lives in the street. So, nothing to do with me. Sorry. I can't give you advice on what's happening elsewhere, because I don't know, you know. But what I can say is this: I'm going to message again Rob and turn around and say to him, where and how do I resume? And then finish web development 3, then move on to the next course with the knowledge from the first course. Here's the thing. Send in bus driving. Well, it's funny you should say that, because my neighbour used to be a bus driver. And I know several now. There's some good, really good people on the buses, and the odd person who likes to shout and scream. I've even noticed that. And we both noticed that one day when, you know, them tipper, the ones who have the, what do you call them, man? The iron skips, was blocking a road trying to get into a property, and bus driver snapped. The language was really colourful, to say the least. No, we didn't. I mean, the neighbour, he basically he came over to help. So, just so you're aware, the Web Development 3 course you're currently doing, the other website development course, are completely different things. Yeah, they are. The point, Alice, with Web Development 3 was to learn the foundation of what I'm doing. HTML, CSS, I think PHP, JavaScript, and there's bigger ones behind it, but it was to learn just the basics. And moving forward, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be videos where I've got like 8 windows open. So you're going to be looking at all the code that's written on every bit, as far as I can do on the top of the screen. And it'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I've done so far. Then they get put to one side, the next lot come in. Because there's got to be somebody who might want to transition to something new. Coding is something new. It's using parts of the keyboard we just don't use. He ran off. Do you know, it's funny, right? There was a guy years and years ago, and why he did what he did, no idea. But he was in a senior role, and he waited. Support the trans community. I don't even know anybody in that community. Also, did you enjoy your time at... No, is the honest answer. And the reason why is the turnover. The turnover in that industry is massive. And do you want to know what the absolute secret is? Let me know. I thought you'd take that tone beer Viking, but you know what the thing is? When the cat's away, the mice will play. Over 57. And I won't say any higher than that, because I did get over it, and I'll tell you the exact road I was on. I was heading down from Cowgate to the city centre. So you'll know the road. Callum, what's the stagecoach secret? Well, if you can employ a person on minimum wage over somebody who has worked 30 or 40 years, would you do that? You see, what people don't look at is the turnover. It's a meat grinder. People come in and they think that driving a large vehicle is easy. No, no, it's not. I've came across people who have been thrown, and it has affected them on a personal level. And I can name 8 different people. Won't tell you who they are, but I can name them, who got ripped to shreds. Just the same as what they were, the same way I did. And that's what people don't understand. The turnover of people within that industry is massive. And do you know where most of them go? Do you know where most of them go? Callum is saying, maybe if they were better at driving. Well, here's the thing for you. Yeah. I've came across people who have been exemplary. And they basically had to fight. So no. What is a condiment? I guess Streets of Home isn't dropping. Paul ignores the question every time. Here's the thing for you. If I put something onto GitHub, yeah, you all know where my GitHub is. If I've put something onto GitHub, I'm going to work towards it. And which has clearly happened, nobody wants to come in and help, fine. I'll learn the knowledge, the web3. I'll learn that. I'll get the certificate and I'll use that as my foundation. Because something which I'm going to be speaking about later, Paul, these are all right. People talk about pipe dreams. Yeah. Let me just explore a big one. Okay. 1 second. I'll be back in a moment. Right, so no beer Viking. No. Right. So what was I talking about? Yeah. When I was on the buses, a lot of ex-drivers all went to one place, Arriva. And they are the biggest employers because they don't have to train you. They'll do a week and a half of showing you the route, but you know the rest. And that's why they get on. No. Sorry. The purpose of my videos is going to be segmented as we move forward. Sometimes you'll get code, HTML, or the next one, or you'll get music. And I'm going to break stuff up. Now, one of those which is on GitHub that is going somewhere special to complete it. So Callum Smith is asking, if I say a name and have a nice day. Well, what I want to say to you is this, yeah? I hope everybody has a nice day. Tonight, we're going to be talking on something a little bit different. So the hope is Callum Smith, that Brandon Forbes does have a very nice day. Yeah, hope you all do. And what I want is to grow. I want to grow higher, up. And there's not just football. No, there's more. Do you know what Cameo is? Not a clue. Not a clue. Now, when I was showing you the book last night, the information I thought was in the book isn't. It tells you to buy the separate on each different one. It just gives you a brief on it. It's where you can pay celebrities to wish happy birthday, etc. You could have your fans send in money for nice messages. That's available. It's called Super Chats, and that's available. It always was available. There's only one person, Raw Dog, who has sent money. And that's the honest answer. But we're going to be growing. Come closer to August, we're going to do collabs with other YouTube channels. Well, one thing I will say is this. The ecosystem, Jeremy, I had damn, that hurt. The ecosystem I had, nobody knew about. And what that ecosystem entailed, nobody knew about either. Because it was complex. So, yeah, somebody has turned round, as Beer Viking was saying, and went, oh, we're going to nick this. But the road hasn't finished yet. Oh, Callum saying bless you. Yeah, lots of people say that down here. But, yeah. So, tonight at 7 p.m, I've got a call sometime this afternoon, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's good news. Well, you see, Callum, the unfinished projects which you just mentioned, that's the foundation, because there is something there. It's just not what people expect. Reason is how it's presented. You see, just as an example for you, yeah, this here, what does it say? What does it say right at the top? And this is one of the things what I used to do was I'd buy a fresh pad to write ideas down, box off important stuff, and then arrow to this, that, and the other. That is why I decided to learn code. And code is moving in a direction. And I like that direction. Can't read it. Okay, here's what it says. Money in brackets. Financial disclaimer. Because if you're talking about any kind of investment, you have to do a financial disclaimer. And that's what that was about, a video to do with finance. Which, let me just tell you this. The ecosystem, which was mentioned earlier, yeah? The ecosystem is part of a financial disclaimer. It has to be. Because if people are going to be spending money, you've got to throw that in. I'm not saying a thing, Benny, about what the call's about, but there's a possibility it is very good news. So, yeah. But buying notepads and writing stuff down isn't going to put food on the table. You're right. It's not. I'm in a position at the moment of transition. Moving from UC to something. And you're going to get the information of what's going to happen. Because moving forward from today to August to September, there's a couple of things I need to do before then, including passport. Are you transitioning? Not sure what that is. Found an inventor for CNU 3. No. I knew he would transition to what? To what? Now, there are things which I mentioned to somebody who's quite important. And I'm going to be speaking to that person this afternoon. Now, what I'm going to do is this. I will see you all 7 p.m. Now, there's 20 here and there's only 10 likes. So let's even the balance. And as we progress through the year, There are going to be more videos where I'm coding, but I'm not going to do what I did do. Not doing that, no. So those people who turn around and ask to get into GitHub, it's going to change. Just letting you all know. So thank you all, and see you all 7 p.m.